In the heart of Nairobi, Kenya, there lived a man named Mwangi. Mwangi was a man of immense wealth and influence. He was known for his visionary leadership and dedication to public service. Despite his busy and demanding career, Mwangi's true joy lay in the embrace of his young family. Don't miss out on more great content. Subscribe now to stay updated and join our amazing community. Your support means the world, and we can't wait to share more with you. Mwangi's wife, Aisha, was a woman of unparalleled beauty and grace. Their love story was one that many admired. Mwangi, the son of a prominent minister, preferred living a low-key life despite his privileged background. At a charity event, he met Aisha, a young and beautiful woman who was the daughter of a high-ranking commissioner. Their shared commitment to charitable causes brought them together, and their connection quickly blossomed into a deep and meaningful relationship, transcending their influential family ties. Together, they had built a life filled with love and respect, sharing a bond that grew stronger with each passing day. They quickly fell in love and got married. Aisha moved to Mwangi's home, where they built a life together. Not long after, they welcomed a daughter, Zuri, who became the center of their world. Their daughter, Zuri, was the apple of Mwangi's eye. At just 6 years old, Zuri had an infectious smile and an inquisitive nature that brought light to everyone around her. Mwangi cherished every moment he spent with his daughter, from reading bedtime stories to exploring the vast gardens of their estate. Despite his many responsibilities, he always made time for his family, believing that no amount of wealth or power could replace the precious moments spent with loved ones. Zuri's journey to becoming a beautiful, gorgeous woman was marked by a blend of natural grace and the strict upbringing orchestrated by her father. From a young age, Zuri possessed a striking beauty that only deepened as she grew older. Her radiant smile, expressive eyes, and graceful demeanor made her stand out effortlessly. However, her father, a stern and protective man, was determined to shield her from any potential suitors and the distractions of the outside world. As Zuri blossomed, her father decided to hire a tutor to monitor her closely and assist with her studies, ensuring that she remained focused on her education and isolated from unnecessary social interactions. This decision drastically cut her off from her social life and friends, confining her to the family home for most of her time. Despite this isolation, Zuri maintained her elegance and charm, qualities that only seemed to intensify with her solitude. To help manage the household, her father hired Kamau, a young boy from a poor background who had tearfully begged for a job. Kamau's responsibilities included cooking and tending to the garden, tasks he performed with a humble dedication. His presence brought a subtle warmth to the household, even as he remained acutely aware of the boundaries imposed by Zuri's father. Kamau's quiet resilience and gentle demeanor did not go unnoticed by Zuri. Though their interactions were limited, a silent understanding and mutual respect began to develop between them. Kamau admired Zuri's beauty and grace from afar, knowing that his position did not afford him the liberty to engage with her beyond his duties. One day, as Kamau was conversing with a maid from the neighborhood, he found himself in an unusual situation. The maid, trying to gauge Kamau's interest, asked him directly if he wanted her. Amid their conversation, Kamau noticed the maid's eyes fixed on something beyond his shoulders. Turning around, he saw Zuri standing there, her presence as mesmerizing as ever. For a brief moment, their eyes met, and then she disappeared as swiftly as she had appeared. That fleeting encounter with Zuri marked the last time Kamau saw the maid. The maids in the neighborhood, eager for male attention due to the scarcity of men around, often competed for the affection of any new or available men they encountered. Kamau, despite his humble origins, became an object of such attention, adding complexity to his already challenging role in the household. Zuri threatened to expose Kamau's secrets if he didn't fulfill her desires for her father. That night, Kamau struggled to sleep, fearing exposure. Around midnight, a knock at his servant's quarters startled him. He dismissed it as a dream until the knock came again. Opening the door, he found Zuri in a see-through dress. They spent the night fulfilling their long-suppressed desires, and by morning, Zuri was back in her room. Their secret meetings continued until Zuri noticed her period was late and discovered she was pregnant. Before leaving for college, she shared the news with Kamau. Fearing her father's wrath, Kamau lied about an emergency and left. Zuri couldn't find him when she returned from class. Zuri's H. The streets were dark and unfamiliar, but Zuri's determination guided her to the outskirts of the city, where Kamau's mother lived in a small, smoky hut. The contrast between the two homes was stark. Where her parents' mansion was filled with luxury, Kamau's mother's home was humble, a single-room shack with a tin roof that clattered with the wind. Zuri knocked hesitantly, and the door opened to reveal Kamau's mother, who welcomed her with open arms, sensing the urgency in her eyes. Kamau was working late at the bar and restaurant that evening. The bustling environment provided a temporary escape from his worries, but his mind often wandered to thoughts of Zuri. His heart skipped a beat when he saw a familiar figure talking to his mother through the restaurant window. Zuri had found him. His worst fear had come true, but there was no time for questions or blame. She needed him. Days turned into a tense blur. It wasn't long before Mwangi, Zuri's father, learned of her whereabouts. His anger was swift and unrelenting. Leveraging his influence, he sent the police to Kamau's home. Kamau was arrested and charged with kidnapping and raping Zuri. In the courtroom, Zuri stood defiant against her father. She testified that she had chosen to be with Kamau willingly, and the charges were dismissed. But the ordeal had left its mark on them both. Weeks passed, and Zuri's pregnancy became more apparent. Kamau knew they needed money for the birth and the future. Desperation led him to a dangerous path. He conspired with some women at the bar who spiked drinks and robbed patrons. It was a risky venture, but Kamau felt cornered. One fateful night, an undercover agent caught them in the act. Kamau and the women were arrested. In court, Kamau was given a choice: become a state witness and receive a lighter sentence, or face a long prison term. He chose to testify against his accomplices, earning himself a 1-year sentence while the others received 5 years. When Kamau was released, he returned home to find Zuri gone. She had returned to her parents and given birth to their daughter. Heartbroken but determined, Kamau decided to find her. He learned that she had gone back to college, trying to rebuild her life. One day, he saw her leaving the lecture halls and approached her, but Zuri coldly ignored him. In a moment of desperation, he grabbed her arm, causing her to fall down the stairs. The fall resulted in Zuri breaking both her legs and her right arm. A mob formed quickly, beating Kamau until the police arrived and arrested him. Kamau was sentenced to 2 years in prison for the assault. 6 months into his sentence, he received a presidential pardon. In those months, he resolved to move on from Zuri and focus on building his life. On the day of his release, as he walked out of the prison gates, he was surprised to see Zuri waiting for him, struggling with crutches. "Kamau, please, I need to talk to you," she called out, her voice filled with emotion. He ignored her and kept walking, but her persistence tugged at his heart. He turned back to see her struggling to keep up, her face a mixture of pain and determination. "Kamau, I realized I love you," she said when she finally caught up. "I know I've made mistakes, but I want us to be a family." Kamau's resolve wavered. He felt the old love and longing resurface. He took a deep breath, turned around, and embraced her. As they walked to a parked car, Zuri handed him her crutches, revealing it was all a test of his love. In the car, a small voice said, "Hi, Daddy, welcome back." Kamau's heart swelled with emotion as he saw his daughter for the first time. Zuri explained her new job and how her father was willing to help Kamau get back on his feet. Despite the tumultuous journey, they looked forward to a hopeful future together, bound by the trials they had endured and the love that had ultimately brought them back to each other.